I was telling you a minute ago, you were talking about how everybody got on Jay except Damon, because Damon is a granddad.
Just like a cop.
Yeah.
I was gonna bring my lacrosse stick, but
I always tell you just like a cop.
Yeah.
This should be so funny, man, because
Tactical.
I've been telling Maul for a long time, like, you the flies in the city to me, because I just like your style, because it's fly, but it's like simple fly. Absolutely. It's not like light, flashy, wild fly. Like, I'm not that kind of dude. If you see me in more than 2 colors most of the time, I'm probably doing a bit much. Like, I'm a 2, maybe 3 color type of dude. Anyhow, point is, you be fly as hell. He be different kind of fly, right?
Yeah.
He's the only person, Damon be tucking his shirt into his jeans a little bit.
Just the front. Just the front. Just the front, so you can see I got a waist. That's it.
I be seeing him on the news. I say, check him out, man.
Yeah, man.
I call his he like this workman's vibe. You feel me? He's trying to come with the workman.
Carhartt.
Like
the button
Charles
down.
S. Dutton.
Yeah, he called the Charles S. Dutton, the white button down and shit.
The rock work shirt.
It's a great balance, man. It's a great balance in all the different rooms that y'all move through. It's like, okay, that's fly. That's comfortable. Okay, here we go. I'm safe now. Like, even though he's the wild. Like,
absolutely. That's the wild part.
And that's usually how it works.
That's the wild part.
They don't suspect that at first.
Yeah, they're like, oh, I'm safe now. You're not safe. He's insane.
Exactly. You actually really need to be worried, but it's okay.
That's the wild part.
That's definitely how it works, though.
Brother.
Nah, man. Look, man, it's good to have y'all brothers here, man.
Man, look, I want to say this on camera, man. I really want to say this on camera, bro. You two brothers, I admire greatly, man, because of the messaging that you put out in the Chicagoland area at this time, in this medium, and the way you do it. I think I want to give y'all your flowers, bro.
Man, I appreciate that, brother.
Straight up,
and you stayed on script all the way. Like, we wrote it out perfectly.
Yeah, I know, exactly. I regurgitated this shit.
That boy good.
That boy good.
Get him his check.
No, for real. Like, this ain't on like everybody's station. You know what I mean?
No, but
it's a certain type of person that even watches the podcast.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying?
What I appreciate more, and kind of what he's saying is, y'all don't actually just talk about things to get clicks type of vibe. Right. It's like y'all really just building on, what y'all want to talk about.
And it's not the popular opinion, bro.
Yeah.
It's
not
it's
that.
It's the straight dope.
Yeah.
And I like that.
We stay true to form, at least we trying to, man. But y'all do the same exact shit, man. The brand is called Moore's.
Yeah, straightforward.
You know
in your face.
It's in your face, right? And I know, I would assume at least, the vast majority of people don't even know what that's a reference to.
Right.
Nah, but that's part of the reason why we did it. You know what I mean? Like, for me, being a black beer in an industry that's all white, I just wanted to be the blackest motherfucker in the room.
Right.
If you're going to come in, kick the door down.
Pretty
You know
much.
what I'm saying? And considering other, cultures got their own beers like Corona, Modelo, and all that. That's Mexican. They proud. They show it. Now they ain't bold enough to put their face on there.
Right.
But I felt like, we had just as much as right to have a black-owned beer brand that was national, that had good-ass beer that everybody drink across the world. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
But leaning into the culture, I thought was the main thing to do, considering, the time, we came with it. It was a lot of, like, civil unrest. I felt like people needed to remember who we were, the time when we, like, ruled, you know what I'm saying? And also leaning into who we are currently, hip-hop, everything, just being unapologetic about who we are. And Moore's was kind of a tongue-in-cheek way of saying black beer company, because, traditionally when people refer to dark-colored people, they call them Moors back in the day. So it wasn't no African-American or black or anything like that. They called them Moors. But so just leaning into that.
So it's funny, man. I was telling her last week. I said, man, white people know more black history than black people, right? And my theory is why they so effective in everything they get away with is because all they really have mastered is marketing.
Well, they erased it.
Right? True, but part of the brilliance of what they do is take all our shit and repackage it back to us.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? So conceptually, even I know, and there's a community that does know what the reference Moore's comes from. I also know there's a community of us that don't know what the reference where it comes from.
That's on
so it's
purpose.
like a strategic way to repackage our own shit, sell it back to us again.
Yeah. I mean, you know what? It's funny you even say that in that way, because one of the things that I've always wondered. You feel me? Because we kind of talk about how we get manipulated as a community, right, by the the
powers that be.
The powers that be. I never understood how we couldn't the powers that be amongst us in the African American community, why we couldn't manipulate us the other way.
The other way.
You know what I'm trying to say?
Because we can't collectivize.
It's not as glamorous.
That's the answer right there.
I know.
I know. I mean,
that's it.
It was just always a
True
thought.
story. I'm in a room 2-3 weeks ago with some black money people, and they talking about a conversation they had the opportunity to sit in with some Arab business owners, and they was talking to some elected officials, I guess.
Yeah.
And I ain't in the room, so I'm only hearing this secondhand, right? And the brother was telling me stories like, man, the way they was talking to them elected officials, we would never talk to them like that. He was like, man, I was just glad to be in the room because obviously they know something we don't know. And I stopped them. I said, man, they don't know shit we don't know.
There it is.
They just got collective power.
And when you
That's the
start
only
being
difference. You ain't
glad
got
to be
no
in the
fucking
room.
You know what I mean?
When you start being glad to be in the
Real
room,
shit.
You start moving.
that's
Real
when
shit.
you fuck up.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
every
You
single
start
time.
moving.
Like,
Start being who you are. You forget the purpose of the mission.
Yeah.
Like
you capitulate.
it's capitulate is how we've reframed the term because we just think it's some bitch shit to do. So we put out a whole like t-shirt campaign, capitulate. We probably sold several hundred capitulate t-shirts.
I fucking love it.
But
Capitulate.
It's capitulating.
I
At
love
the end of the
it.
day,
I fucking
at
love
the end of the day, that's what it is. You
It
bitching
is.
up, like you know what I mean?
but
It's
that-
whole stuttery.
But
It is.
but
It is.
to that point, we were approached with that when we were coming out with this beer, and with the bold black label, with the man on the can, with
You
the
sure you
chains
wanna
and the
do
crown.
that?
Yeah.
Like people were legit trying to talk us out of doing it.
Oh yeah.
And I was not going. I mean, I just knew that at the end of the day, wherever it went, you know what I'm saying, it was something that was cool for me and my homies to do together.
Oh yeah.
And just be able to say we did that.
Man, I remember driving away from 18th Street Brewery with 30 barrels of this shit in a U-Haul truck. And it was like 5 pallets of beer in this motherfucking U-Haul. And I was like, oh my God.
We got that work.
It started like really settling in on you. Like you driving away, but we ain't, I ain't got where I need to go. And it's like, it's a treacherous drive as far as I'm concerned. And I just remember thinking like, fuck it. If this don't work, me and the boys got fucking beer for the summer. You know what I'm saying? That's all I was thinking, dog.
But
and like 5-6 days later.
Nah, I knew, man.
Gonzo.
Like I said, it was really when we started encountering people. You feel me? Like we did. So the plan was to like, okay, we're gonna own Juneteenth since it's now a thing, right? We're gonna own it, right? We coming out Juneteenth. So we was trying to. The strategy was we're gonna be aggressive. We're gonna be at every event going on during this week. So we was at this first event we did was shout out to Pier 31, Nikki Hayes.
Shout out to Nikki for sure.
We set up a little table, you know what I'm saying? Had our little mugs and all that. Had our few little beers.
That was the first one?
That was the first one.
I don't
It
fucking
was before the actual like launch event.
Right, I guess that's
But
true.
like,
It was
so I'm
before
out
the
there
launch.
and we pouring, to sampling people, and I saw this lady. I saw her face when she tasted it, and her eyes like lit up.
Like it's different.
And like, man, I knew from that moment that we.
It's some magic in building, bro.
Yeah.
It's magic in building.
From the mud?
Yeah.
It's magic in building. G.
Yeah, I knew
Win, lose, or
right
draw,
there
it's
we
magic
had
in
one.
trying, cuz.
Yeah.
It is.
Man, for me, with y'all, I respect the gumption of it. We talk about gumption a lot on this show and how gumption, in a lot of ways, even supersedes intelligence or skill or resources.
Yeah.
Do you have the nuts to do this shit?
Yeah.
To put the black man on the can and call the company Moors, right? To put it out there like that, because I can only imagine what it's like for y'all. Because every time I've introduced the beer to people, especially to spaces of other races, like I gotta explain this to you. Like what is that? And sometimes I feel like it, and sometimes it's like, take the beer, man. You want to figure out what that is?
Read the can.
Figure it out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I get it.
So like it's I respect the gumption of it as much as anything, and I also appreciate the fact that y'all were also the first. Once we start to like take this thing from a conversation between two and I to a thing where we wanted to grow it, we wanted to monetize, we started looking to sponsorships and shit. Y'all was like, hell yeah, we down. We down immediately. Let's rock out together.
From the beginning.
Yeah, since
the pandemic.
Yeah.
I think I picked y'all up in the pandemic.
But again, like to what you're saying, is about this is a mission of freedom.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? Like, this is a mission of freedom, freeing us from having to not work for ourselves and all that kind of stuff, but also freeing our minds and our people to show that we can be successful at everything, right? But that's part of the confidence, right? And just being just completely free with the
freedom,
creation.
Man.
For me, it's like, now we know definitively black people invented beer. The black woman created beer.
Yeah.
And for me, it's about the reclamation of that. And for us to be the ones that make money from it. Like, when we started this, you couldn't have told me that French Trappist monks or Belgians or Germans didn't create this shit.
Right.
That we were trying to like do something that, and the more we started researching, it was like, wait. Like the further, how they say, the further back you go, the blacker it gets. And that was so true. And then our brothers out there in Atlanta, what's the dudes that beer is Black History?
Oh, drought season. Shout out to drought season.
Shout out to drought season. Like, when you start running into the circles, like the black beer culture, you know what I mean? The fledgling black beer culture. Yeah. It's one that I know that Jahmal and I can help to create, help to sustain, help to grow,
It's a great place, man, to intro the viewers into the show, man. Welcome so much. We appreciate y'all so much. Welcome to this edition of Herb and Two. Alongside Tucson, my name is Herb Howard. This is where we get together. We talk about issues that currently impact the black community. We talk about how those issues impact us as individuals and also how they impact us as a collective, and along with your help. We talk through these issues in hopes of finding the optimum solutions for how we can overcome said issues. Again, overcome them as individuals, but perhaps more importantly, overcome them as a collective. Thank y'all so very much for choosing to be a part of it, man. As always, your input is valued and appreciated. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, and share with at least one person that you think will add value to or find value in this particular conversation. Again, this is Herb and Two. It is intellectual thuggery at its absolute finest. My name is Herb. His name is Two.
That boy good.
I still can't do that shit.
Yeah. I'm looking for the prompter.
I looked over there. I didn't see one either.
That's never been written down anywhere.
That boy good.
I still can't do that shit. Every time it's me by myself, I'll be like, fuck all that. We here.
No, I actually was at the bar one day, and you popped up on the screen.
Yeah, man.
My man.
Yeah, man.
Took a picture. We was like laughing about it because you was in the car.
Yeah, that was recent. Everybody laughed at me about that one.
Yeah.
They set me up on that one though. I didn't know that was going to be on the TV. I thought it was a podcast.
Oh, okay.
It is a podcast form, and then they put it on TV.
Right.
Okay.
But I didn't know that. You know what I mean? It's like, we want you to be on the Chicago football podcast, whatever it's called. Shout out to them for that. It's dope. But I just didn't know it. So I was actually at Hallis Hall, coming from the Bears practice, and I was trying to jump out on the traffic because you got a small window where
we drinking beer today. So.
Yeah, let's go. Let's drink. Go ahead, do your thing. You either jump out and get out of Hallis Hall, get from Lake Forest, try to get down to the city, or you finna catch that traffic and it could be 2 hours.
Trust
for real.
Me.
So
I used to have to go out there.
I'm trying to jump it. Practice and press conferences ended, so I'm trying to jump out of there and bust a move. And I got as far as I could, and then the time came. I'm like, let me pull over, do this podcast. I don't have any clue that this is on TV until I get down to my Cheers bar, which is Red Pepper. Shout out to the family Red Pepper on 87 The King. I'm sitting there talking to my man Sean, and I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, look, it popped up on me too. I was like, damn. I'm like, I didn't even know that I'm in the car. I'm like, whatever.
Yeah,
everybody gave me a hard time. Everybody gave me a hard time, but I don't.
No, I took a few pictures. I meant to send it to you.
Nah, it's all good.
Y'all doing good work.
Christy posted it though.
Yeah, she does. Yeah, she definitely did.
Quick question. Y'all was talking about the black beer culture.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm ignorant. I don't know nothing about that.
Right.
But I do know about the black culture of this city, of Chicago, right?
Yeah.
And there are only a select few people that are able to kind of like, I don't know.
Curate.
Yeah. Effectively. Right? And it's an interesting space here where it's like, in my experience, in most places, you do something and you become somebody. Here, it's you become somebody and you're allowed
then
to
you
do
can do
something.
Interesting.
So
Yeah.
it's very interesting to watch how you all navigate the space.
I mean, look, man, I see 2 is the one that's gonna get me on.
I love it.
On my left. See, this is the thing. Like, when we look at this, bro, again, for me, it's a reclamation act. You know, this is our thing, and people don't even know it.
I didn't know the black woman at all. I still don't know.
Ancient Sumeria. So about 6,000 years ago, the oldest recorded record of beer is in Sumeria, ancient Sumeria. And back then, they did it as a cultural like thing. When a man and a woman got married, there was like a bunch of stuff that the woman would do for the man for about 30 days. And one of the
that don't happen no more.
No, you know that. I mean,
Y'all wow.
So she was trying to impress him.
Y'all wow.
Yeah, she was trying to impress him, but she would ferment a grain beverage that would relax him. You know what I'm saying? That was fucking beer, and that was a 6,000-year-old recipe. And it wasn't no niggas in the kitchen. They was women. You know what I mean? So that was a black female that created beer. Now, once you figure that part out, and you start looking at, wait a minute, where's the black man on the beer can in the beer aisle?
No,
not there.
No, but even more so, really quick to your point, just in terms of the Chicago culture of creating and curating versus being part of the, I guess, cool kids, if you will, right? That is the culture here, and understanding that going into business, you know, I always knew that, you know, it didn't matter if you were part of the cool kids or not. You know, a product just requires a certain level of detail and work. You know, the packaging, the name, one syllable, all these things. You know, the level, right, of thinking, you know, that went into the creation of this brand, this beer, all the things that we're doing was just really not only just to create wealth and legacy for ourselves, but really to show how cold we were.
Yeah, man.
You feel me? Just as individuals, right? And showing that we don't need, you know, necessarily the peanut gallery, you feel me, to like create something out of the mud, right? We just need the people that actually like good product and support a brand. You know, kind of separating ourselves personally and just creating something that's larger than us. You know what I mean? So I think that's one of the most important components about what we're doing, that kind of help transcend that whole political process.
Okay. In receiving y'all's compliments on my intro, I neglected to actually finish introducing y'all to the show.
Oh, okay.
I didn't know who we were, bro.
Yeah, we just jumped in.
Not that y'all need no introduction. I mean,
no, we do.
He ain't like that.
Exactly. He like all the intros.
He y'all all on Herman too. You know what I mean? Intellectual thuggery.
Yes.
But y'all on ABC, y'all on CBS, y'all on Fox, y'all on WGN, y'all in New York, y'all in Chicago. Y'all are winning first place in the Sam Adams national, or was that an international competition?
It's national, man.
National competition. Like, but for the sake of being complete, from Moore's Beer founders, we got Damon over here. Got Jahmal over here, man. And it's absolute pleasure to have y'all on here, man.
Absolutely.
Dead ass, I was telling you earlier that another thing I truly respect about y'all is the daily grind. How this shit is on all the time.
Don't stop.
Time I wake up, he got a some-minute story already. Y'all in somewhere else, and I'm like, God damn, how was that 3 hours ago? It's fucking 7 o'clock. Like, you know what I mean? Like that type of shit. And I respect the hell out of that, man. So I know that we've built a real brotherhood, you know,
Absolutely.
over the years. But I'm still a fan, and I still appreciate what y'all have built. Man. So thanks for coming through.
It's a love fest.
It's
a love fest.
It's a love fest.
Yeah,
I love
no
y'all
doubt.
too, man. Like,
No doubt.
again, like Damon mentioned, like I say, the thing I appreciate the most about y'all shows, like, you know, is
Uncut
it's
dope,
poignant.
bro.
You know?
Yeah, it's uncut dope.
It ain't like
Two ain't never gonna
pandering.
like you.
That's my brother. That's
It's
two.
not pandering in any way. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
And your
my brother.
professionalism.
He brings that, man. He's gonna bring that unapologetic opinion of whatever he feels, and he's also very smart. He gonna back it up with research. He read. Do we agree all the time? Fuck no. But what kind of show would that be? You know what I mean? But he brings that raw authenticity, that unapologetic shit to it, and I try to bring some balance and some structure and some, you know,
you do this,
some point guard play to it.
You're going to be asking Ben Johnson questions on Sunday. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's what I respect about it.
Yeah.
Because you can do both. And you got to show that you can do both.
Enough about us. This is about y'all and what y'all got
whatever.
going on.
It's about us.
Question, y'all. Ma, I fuck with all the answers you just provided about not needing the peanut gallery and all that, right? But I've been nulling this concept over my head. And even when you was like, this is, you know, reclamation, is about freedom, I can receive all that shit. But I've been having this theory just nulling over in my head, like, what has happened to black masculinity? And when I hear freedom from you, I hear I don't need a peanut gallery from you, what I really hear is that even reclamation, reclaiming my manhood. Because men stand on man shit. Yeah. We don't need a team. We don't need a group. We don't need a... No, motherfucker, I own space because I own space.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. And that's a theory that I don't even feel in our communities anymore. Right. And I was raised in a village of men. You know what I mean? Yeah. Men from all over the walk, from every walk, but they carried it like men carry it.
Indeed.
Which is how I carry it, because that's what I come from.
Indeed.
But it's a rarity today.
Yes.
You know, and I don't mean it a rarity in spaces. It's a rarity. Period.
Yeah, I know.
You know what I mean?
No, I definitely think I agree with you.
Capitulation.
Rarity. Well, I mean, again, I think society.
You capitulate so long, it becomes a part of the
your
DNA.
Exactly.
I think society's kind of bullied people to kind of assimilate to this new way. You know, in many respects, you know, I think people of our era and that grew up like us, you know, around men, around this masculinity, you know, there's some lessons to be learned. You know what I'm saying?
Well, we're older than them, though.
No, no, I don't think so.
You know what I mean?
I thought you was. Oh, wait.
No, I'm finna be 50.
Okay.
Yeah, me too. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we all
older than him.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah, I just turned 39.
All right.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that, bro.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
But no, I mean, I just think, you know, it's definitely some growth needed there, because a lot of the shit that we probably, you know, some of the things, you know, that we kind of learn aren't necessarily beneficial, considering, like, you know, just look at the outcome of our community. You feel what I'm trying to say? So from that standpoint, you know, there's some growth needed there, but at the same time, when things are trying to be corrected, people have the tendency to swing a little too far to the other side. You feel me? So I think in an effort to kind of correct things, we went way too far to the other side and it became a lot softer and a lot more, you know, just impractical and unrealistic. You know what I mean? Which is definitely, you know, affecting the community in adverse ways. But again, you know, I think. Again, it's part of the mission. You know what I'm saying? It's part of it. We got to be able to show real examples of success. It's real examples of success in different ways. You know,
yeah,
so
it depends on
we
how
can
you
inspire
define
people.
Yeah,
right? You know what I'm trying to say?
thinking at the same time.
Yeah.
I mean, well, success is like whatever you see it as. But my point is, everybody is. I mean, you know, I ain't gonna hold you. You know, this is a friendly show, so I can say this, but. In my experience, like women, for example, I mean, when you talk about a man, that's one of our primary, you know, objectives in terms of, you know, getting the attention of.
Facts.
But don't nothing get the attention of a woman like a nigga doing real shit.
Yeah.
I done removed all the men around me.
That's facts, though.
That's on the whole chase type shit, bro. Like that's not, like, we trying to build something that will outlive us. Yeah. And can benefit our community. Like, I'm no longer comfortable with being around men that don't want to have a seed in the window, at least. Like, you know what I'm saying? You got to grow your own food. You got to be able to hunt. You got to be able to, you know, butcher your own meat. You got to be able to buy land. Like, there's basic tenets to manhood to me that I look at I'm just like, all right, well, okay, we don't think the same, and that's cool. That's fine. But there's certain things that I look at and I say to myself, all right, well, I think you need to be able to build a house.
But see, to your point, it's about building. Whatever you build, right? One thing that we've gotten away from as men in the black community, honestly, is building. You know what I mean? People have gotten a lot comfortable in you know, things like that. I think, you know, no disrespect, but we often do a lot of the same shit. You know what I'm saying? I often ask the questions why, like, we don't aim higher, for certain things. We got all these, affluent and successful people in real estate, but we don't own any commercial property like that. You feel me? So it's almost like, damn, well, like, what's the bar? You know what I'm saying? Is everybody getting into the same thing to do the same thing?
For us, what we always saying is that, to me, the measurement of manhood is your ability to master the environment that you inherited. And I told you, Mr. Read Everything informed me that was a quote, but it's just something I believe in, right? The trick is to figure out what that is, though, right? What is the environment actually, right? And what does it mean to actually master it? Mm-hmm. Now, some people will tell you that's just to run up a bag. Mm-hmm. Some people will think it's just to knock down as many women as you can.
Relative.
Some people would think whatever else it is, right? Go to the league, whatever, right? But what is your environment actually, and what does it actually mean to master it? And I think that's the journey, that's the evolution, that's the process of figuring this thing out. Because even more than we quote that, and whose quote is that? I'm sorry.
Shit, I don't know, man. I know, but I can't.
Yeah.
Even more than we quote that, we quote Neely Fuller, who says, "Until you fully understand white supremacy, what it is and how it works, everything else you think you know will only confuse you."
Yep.
Right.
First one was Amos Wilson.
Amos Wilson. Right.
Master teacher.
Yeah. But how do you master something you don't even understand it? You know what I'm saying? To Neely Fuller's part. And so if you don't understand it, mastering it that's not a real fucking thing.
But, I don't even think you really need to understand it all the way, right? I think you just need to see, people just need to get to work a little more, right? I think people just always fall into, doing the similar things that, we learn that, which is no disrespect, there's nothing wrong with it. We just need more risk takers, you know what I'm saying?
But see, I think one of the tenets of manhood too is understanding that the journey is more important than the destination.
Correct.
Right? And I think what happens in this kind of capitalist mind frame and system is that the destination is more important than the journey. So even when we talk about capitulating, the vast majority of men capitulate for the check.
Capitulate. We changing the
right? Because it's the outcome, and it's the same shit you said, right? We peacocking, we still looking for the attention of a chick.
It's assimilation.
Right. But because we ain't built shit, you got to assimilate when you ain't built shit. So you still need
everything we build, they bomb.
Right.
So we have built shit, and they destroyed it. And every time they destroy something, it disencourages the next generation from building.
I say this too all the time, right? Revolution isn't always successful, but it's always necessary. The shit don't never
always
stop.
Necessary.
The game is the game, nigga. The clock running.
Right, but
you got to keep
leaders
scoring.
Because they shot them all.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm with that too, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's why.
Motherfuckers play
nobody want to step up and be out front when you get shot.
Though, right? You know what I mean? I think one of the problems that we don't know or don't understand, and one of the things that I noticed just in terms of talking about white supremacy, one of the tenets of white supremacy is to make our community devalue education.
That's why I don't like the fucking term white supremacy. See, we can have this conversation, right? I don't think the shit is white supremacy when you gotta degrade and you gotta fucking tear down and you gotta hide history of, and that's not white supremacy. You're not showing that you're better than me by being able to subjugate my whole shit.
That's you fully understanding it.
I know.
Right? No. So that's what I'm saying. So
that's knowledge of self.
But the package on the cover still says white supremacy.
Exactly.
And that messaging works wonders.
It does.
So you fully understanding it's just to remove that fucking packaging.
And it also goes
that don't
back
change
to the journey and the destination statement, right? It don't matter the how, the outcome is the outcome. So depending on what side you stand on, supremacy stands.
A motherfucker will grab this will grab this beer, which to me is one of, if not the best beers I've ever had in my life. The white can is my shit too, and the black can. But motherfucker will grab this and grab a fucking bottle of Miller Lite, which we know is just piss water, right? Respectfully. Fuck it, disrespectfully.
Yeah, I was about to say, okay.
Right? And because that packaging says Miller Lite, it says white supremacy.
They'll pick that one.
They're gonna pick it.
You know, I'll tell you a story.
About that shit works. I'll tell and motherfuckers will think that shit is a better beer.
We lost a load. One load that we got dropped. We had a transportation company that we paid to move beer from here to there, and they like tipped it over or whatever. And it was like real early in the process. And me and Jahmal had to go clean this thing up afterwards, right? But I think you made the point. Like, we don't know. Like, you know what I'm saying? If it was white supremacy, like if a motherfucker was a white supremacy.
Are you sabotaging our shit?
Exactly. Did you take a load
early?
Did you take an exit ramp too quick?
Right.
You know what I mean?
No,
on purpose.
I mean, but that's
the game.
But that's what white supremacy will make. Like, we have to deal with that. So, but like nobody else does.
But even but in reality, I come with people like this though, thinking about that, right? So in reality, it's never gonna be a day where they're just gonna wake up and like, you know what?
We've been wrong this whole time.
We're gonna be fair to niggas. Now on.
That's not coming.
They're not gonna ever give up their power.
No. You gotta take.
I'm trying to say, and I also know how it would take an act of God, right, to actually, reverse hundreds of years.
Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So what we better do, what we ought to do, is figure out how to build within that bullshit.
Exactly. And that's why I even brought up what I said. All of it is a reclamation of manhood for me, right? Mm-hmm. So the first step in the capitulating is not having the black man on the can. Mm-hmm. So when you stand on that, you still playing against the clock.
Yes.
Right? That's manhood though. You saying, you know what, even if this shit don't work, me and my boys got beer for the summer. Mm-hmm. You saying, man, this shit just feel good. That's the victory.
Yeah.
Those are the fucking wins, G.
Yeah.
The outcome is not the win.
Paper trophy. I want the fucking cash.
The outcome is not the win.
But because I felt like if we couldn't be free and us doing our thing, then when can you?
That's kind of my point. So we value that.
We gotta have
that destination over the journey so much so that we never walk the process to masculinity.
Yes.
Because that's the process.
Yes.
You understand what I'm saying? I just got to enjoy standing on my shit.
Yeah.
Regardless of the outcome.
I think it's tough,
I got the value standing in my shit.
Yeah.
Regardless of the outcome.
Agree with you 100%. I just think it's so tough because we are still indoctrinated into white American society that's built on capitalism, and so we see this end goal thing.
No,
like, I haven't gotten there until I got until the 30-room mansion is here, until the multi car garage.
So funny
because come out. You said something to me earlier, and I got you, Mom. But you said something earlier when I was congratulating you on the fact that y'all just got first place in the Sam Adams competition. You was like, man, we ain't touching that motherfucking conference championship trophy. We going for the real one.
Right. The Lombardi's only, bro. We don't touch no division.
Gold ball.
Nothing.
But
Lombardi's only, bro.
To not appreciate that shit
appreciative.
Too, right?
It's appreciative.
Right? Some of the best times I've had with y'all just whether it just be like private times, I'll pull up to your crib, we kick it by the garage, or me and you took a picture at the first Emancipation Ball in the Sears Tower. Little shit like that. When we kick it with y'all in the beer garden at the first High Park Summerfest. Shout out to Swain, shout out to Dave on that. Like the first when y'all had the whole, we just kicked it over there for a couple. Come on here, we kicked it over there.
Skinny Swain.
Right. Wait, did y'all say Skinny Swain?
Yeah, Skinny Swain.
Have I not seen Swain in a minute?
Swain is like 100 pounds, man.
Shout out.
Oh, no, I mean back then. I'm like, did he blow back up? Like that's crazy. I knew he had lost his weight. Yeah.
Shout out to Skinny Swain.
Shout out to Swain. But like those are the things that matter that I think we kind of look over. Like, so when people run up on us and like, man, I watched the pod, I think it's dope, it's raw as hell. Ooh, it's like, okay, and sometimes we like laugh and joke about that shit, but that shit matters too, right? It's not only it doesn't only matter if we catch Joe Budden podcast, right? Like, whatever the fuck, right?
I don't know Joe Budden, bro.
Yeah, that's the point, right? So we build.
I know y'all.
I was watching Fat Joe and Jadakiss podcast, right?
Yeah.
And they laughing and joke, mostly Fat Joe, but he on this arrogant shit like how they can't. We just started. We got 100,000 subscribers. Woo. Niggas that have podcasts. They don't got this, for longer. They don't got as many. I said, time out. You and Jadakiss have that many subscribers in this amount of time because y'all have been rappers for 30 years.
Exactly.
Not because you just started being a podcast. If you went from nobody fucking knows you to starting a podcast, you think you would have 100,000 subscribers in your first however fucking long they've been doing this shit? Like, but you use that as a metric. Like, that's, you fucking idiot. You're stupid, right? But for us, the process, the journey, the connections, the relationships, all of that shit matters. Riding these fucking waves with our fucking team matters, man. You got PE over there. We in the dark sometimes trying to figure out how the next thing gonna go. We on their ass,
nigga. I'm telling you right now. I
would put the conversation, the content up against anybody. Remember on Fresh when Samuel L. Jackson said, "Put him on the clock." I bet I whoop his ass. Put any one of the motherfucking podcasts next time. I bet you the conversation, the content better. But I'm not a 30-year rapper. I'm not a 15-year NBA player. I'm not a motherfucking movie star. Like you niggas.
And I'm having conversations that's above all of y'all's heads.
Absolutely. Not no gossipy bullshit.
22 niggas having one conversation.
Right.
Yeah. That's why I agree with you, Mom, when you say expanded.
Yeah.
That's part of the process too, though, right? Yeah. That's part of the I don't know, the prison, right? The prison of chasing only the capital.
Mm-hmm.
Can't do that.
You know what I'm saying?
No, it's prison. It's real shit.
Right? And it limits your manhood.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Well, you know, see, I think, but there's a difference, right? It's like, and when this is what I wanted to show. You feel me? You can legit do all of it, right? They try to make us believe we got to sacrifice one for the other. No. We can be on our man shit.
I'm in full agreement.
Be black as hell.
All that shit.
Yeah, and I'm celebrating y'all for doing it.
Yeah, right? No doubt. And here's the thing, what we got to remember, you know what I'm saying? And this is, again, I think we got to tap into the business, right? Again, the game is the game, as we say, right? And we could talk shit about the game all day, complain about it and all that, but at the end of the day, we need to get in it and play and just start winning.
But how do you create asset to play at a high level in the game? Right? At the end of the day,
Machiavellian is humanly possible.
You're right. They ain't gonna make it easy.
Because that's only, it ain't.
But they don't have to.
And it don't even necessarily be Machiavellian.
Yes, it does.
Oh, no, you don't. All you gotta have is, I didn't employ any Machiavellian tactics. I just came with some fly shit. You feel me? At the end of the day, what tactic did I apply for the fucking beer? You feel me? Ain't nobody there. Right. You feel me? I knew he was gonna be the only nigga that coming at it the way I was thinking about it, because I knew everybody else was too scared to put a nigga on the can.
Thanks.
Because it's really a white space. You talking to a motherfucking tax accountant. Mm-hmm. I'm literally the only nigga there most times. Yeah. Right? Yeah. So I'm already knowing that, you know, how easy it is for people to assimilate being in the room for the white people, right?
Change your tone, your diction, all that shit.
But I also knew that was exactly what was going to put us in front of everybody else. Leaning into the culture, calling it Moors, putting the black man on the can with chains and a crown on his head. I knew that shit was going
on. And a fat gold ring, by the way.
I don't think people see the ring. Looked like somebody that everybody knew. And so I knew that from that standpoint, it connected with people. You feel me? And I knew Moors was going to be a conversation. I knew it was gold. That's why I wouldn't even give a fuck what nobody was saying.
Because they were saying we couldn't sell it north of the
They were trying to change the shit to J19. And what are the other
J19 was supposed to be June 19th for Juneteenth.
Oh my God.
They wanted to call my shit J19.
I would not fuck with y'all niggas.
Hold on, I gotta tell you. I say this every time I can. I want to hold on. Wait.
You've been saying when you called me and told me this shit.
I wanted no. What I wanted to call it.
Was he trying to pitch it?
I wanted to call it white tears.
White tears. No, so David was buckling. I ain't gonna say he was hearing all that white
Turner.
White tears. I wouldn't call it white tears. I thought that shit was hilarious. And I thought we could sell 1 million cans of that shit. Jahmal was like, hell. You want to sell 1 can of beer?
I'm like, nigga, we finna create a brand. Okay?
Right. Not on white tears.
No, I'm like, this is gonna be.
I still think
because at the end of the day,
we can make a beer called white tears in the show.
At the end of the day, it's not even about like shitting on white people.
No.
It's just about uplifting what we're doing and showcasing our shit.
I was down there in Florida. I saw cracker beer.
So look,
cracker beer is hilarious.
Florida cracker beer, shit is it.
So the closer we got to
they sell liquid death water in a beer can.
It's like ridiculous.
Man, that's
whatever you want to.
It is.
But no, we got closer to the launch. You know what I'm saying? Everybody was getting a little squirrely. You know what I'm saying? Damon called me like, man, you know, so he's trying to explain it to me. I'm like, nigga, no. N-O. Whoever don't fuck with it, get the fuck out
right.
At least we got beer for the niggas for the summer.
Yeah.
If it don't work, then fuck it.
Right.
But this, we can't deviate from what the plan was.
True story.
You know what I'm saying? Because that's what it is. And now we here, bro. So, I mean, hey, it ain't been easy, but ain't shit easy.
No. Ain't shit
easy. That's why ain't nobody got this.
But at its core, though, man, don't nobody love you like your family.
Exactly.
Right. So I'm with you. Lean into the shit.
Yeah.
Right. But that's part of why we leverage the word capitulate. Right. Because so many of us think you can't lean into it.
Yeah.
And I'm saying the power is in leaning into it.
Absolutely.
All day long. So many of us run from leaning into it.
You know what? And here's the wildest thing, and it still gets to me to this day. I mean, when I see, other races.
It's a blue in there. Give me
one. That's what I was getting you.
Wearing the hoodies with the black man on it and all that. We had a whole chef on the news, a white chef on the news. Shout out to Chef, but he was wearing the Moors hoodie. But he's a white dude wearing Moors hoodie.
John
that was a W for us.
Big win.
That makes, what I'm trying to say? That's like equivalent to me. That was equivalent to Kanye wearing the Hoover shirt in the Oval Office. You know what I'm trying to say? But it's like, it is making progress and it's moving the needle and showing us that we can do anything and be successful. It don't just got to be clothes. But we could do that too. We could be G-Unit.
Yeah.
Right? We got the beer, we got the clothes, we got the food, we got whatever.
I told you, I need some more hats, by the way. Let me just keep it a bean. I got the classic orange fatigue one. That's the classic joint. I'm gonna keep that one if I don't keep nothing
pink
else.
Though. The camo neon pink, I'm telling you.
I would rock the fuck out that.
Yeah,
Shut up, too.
I ain't got an orange. I rock pink anyway.
I know, but you would roast me about it though.
Well, you go to Pride every month. I still love you though.
I missed it this year too.
You didn't really miss it.
You probably would. Did you accidentally ride your bike up there? No. Give it a bean. Look, here we go, Pete.
I did.
Here we go, Pete.
This true shit. So I closed on the crib. I'm moving the house out. I'm moving all the shit. Oh, man. So I had a U-Haul.
The house on 51st.
This is such
I didn't get past the south side. Let me tell you the story. Come on. Jeff taking the U-Haul back. I'm on 39th at Indiana.
And gay.
39th at Indiana.
This is a setup, right?
Listen, I'm back to this manhood shit.
Right,
This shit depresses me. I get a 39th in Indiana.
Right.
39th in Indiana has a history. You understand what I'm saying? Like the low end has a history.
Sure.
Gee, it is a black boy standing outside with fire pink hair, thigh-high boots on, fishnets, and a lion cloth. I don't even know what to call the shit he had on here. It was like just said a lion cloth.
Like King Jeffrey Joffrey? Like
it was something that he should have had on. And I was like, man, what the fuck are we doing, y'all?
Yeah.
What the fuck are we doing?
No, it's weird.
It's weird, man.
Yeah, no,
even if you gay, like I ain't even knocking being gay. If that's your thing, let that be your thing.
Mm-hmm.
Why you gotta be a circus clown?
No, but I mean, and it's true. Like you said, just being mature about it. Don't knock anybody's choice or whatever they want to do sexuality.
Yeah, for sure.
But like, what I don't understand is how we gotta try to ignore this wild shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
As if it's not
wild shit.
Yeah.
It's wild shit.
Trying to normalize wild.
No, you like legit.
I agree
wild,
on that part.
That's some wild shit.
Yeah, the normalization.
I look at the woman grave. She had that shit on 30, 9th in Indiana.
Yeah, you look wild.
Fuck is you selling pussy? Yeah, I wouldn't think no other thought.
What's the hotel connected?
I would think no other thought.
What's the hotel connected to Pearl's Place?
She's gonna
go up in there.
She's about to hit the track.
You're gonna go up in there.
The Amber Inn.
The Amber Inn.
Look at Marvel.
Not that I've
know it.
Not that I know. Not that I've gotten a short stay before.
They call him Mr. Room 204.
What's crazy is we know the owners.
Not that I've gotten a short stay.
Everybody had that hotel thing.
The Zanzibar, the Seville. It's wild as hell.
They call them short stays.
It's all on the course.
I mean,
we got off to the Zanzibar, the Modi. Now we're about to go to a Modi.
The beer.
That's fine. I want to get to the Chicago part of it though, man. Before we got into the show and we started talking manhood and gumption and beer and everything else, we talked about like the roots of it in Chicago. We talked about all of our individual connectivity or lack thereof to the projects, right? To the buildings when they was up. And I think that matters in a number of contexts, right? You talked about your connection to the Wells,
yes.
right?
Yeah.
I know you had connections in different places. I only had a couple, right? One in Robert Taylor's and then another in Cabrini. And I got a wild story about the Cabrini connection, but anyway, that don't matter. My point is, right, growing up in certain spaces, or just in the city in general, in the times that we grew up. Y'all a little older than me, but we all within 10 years or so,
yeah,
right?
Of course.
Growing up in the city, it created a certain energy, a certain just way you had to carry it if you were going to get around such spaces as the Wells, the Ickies. Like, you got to show up a certain way, even if it's unfamiliar to you, even if even if they press you a little bit. It's like, well, I got to pass this test. I still got to come in here, right? How do y'all think that's foundational to certain generations, and do you think it impacts some of the shit that we've lost? Like, when we talk about generations of boys and skirts and fishnets and loincloths.
Yeah, no, I mean,
I don't even think you got to go there for real. Like, I mean, even from, we have a tap room space, Diversity House.
Shout out to Diversity House. Man, what's the address?
2601 West Diversity Avenue.
2601 West Diversity.
Summertime nights crack.
Yeah, man.
Got a
great food.
Mean chicken sandwich.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Wings is dope. But, we've got an opportunity now to really kind of
7,000 large screens.
Yeah.
To watch anything you like.
7,000. Well, we had an opportunity to work with the younger generation and see that interaction and start realizing some of the differences that are just inherent and kind of how they move and how we move, and had to readjust how we move.
Sure. To accommodate them in some ways. Yeah.
Exactly. It's been interesting, but that's been telltale of kind of like the differences that when nature versus nurture, right? So how we grew up and the morals and principles that I stand on may not be that for the 29-year-old black male that came from the same area as I came from. But is experiencing a whole different nurture.
Got a shout out to a young brother named Jahmal Thomas. He was on my radio show at WVON this Saturday. Shout out to Black Star Project. His name is Jahmal Thomas. Young brother. I think he was a junior at USC, but he came up in the city. He was in trouble early, all that kind of shit. But he's doing so much dope shit. So just, if any of y'all know Jahmal Thomas, I just want to shout him out because it pertains to what you were saying. We had a conversation about how you approach this shit from our perspective and how they approach from their perspective and how to bridge that gap.
I think there's a duality that's happening right now. That's very interesting to me, right? Like, I think for our generation, and one, you got to understand the dynamics of the city, right? Mm-hmm. Chicago's a very segregated place, and that goes beyond the borders of what most people's minds thinks. Mm-hmm. Right? It's not just racially segregated. It's not just class segregated.
True.
It's area, neighborhood, block, all that shit.
Socioeconomic.
Right? It's gotten even more segregated, like, as the years progress.
Right.
Like,
as inflation is
increased. When I was a shorty, like I'm from 95th Street, so we attach ourselves to the hundreds. Murderers came from the hundreds. Most people don't look at it like that, but that's where most of the cities, from a crime culture, they was real gangsters. Violent kind of gangsters. Right? Hustlers came from the low end.
Yes, sir.
Get money people. Over east where you stayed, those was robbers.
The robbers.
So there's some overall culture that
exists. Westside got
but
to the money.
But then you get into those pockets and there's a different shaping.
Yeah.
Now, you don't never have to be in the hundreds to worry about getting stuck up. It ain't happening. Now they'll murder you.
Right.
But they ain't gonna stick your ass up.
You're gonna be dead with a pocket full of money and all your jewelry.
You go over east, they gonna rob the chefs. Yeah. It just was what it was, right? So even when we start talking about the buildings, different cultures in each of those buildings. You know what I mean? I think what's interesting about the young people, man, that I don't actually like it, but it also brings a light to the city that I don't think we had in our generation.
No, yeah.
Right? I think they bring a larger light to the city because they're more welcoming, right? So you get the stuff like Black Boat Weekend or Black Yacht Weekend where people come from all over the place, right? You get the what's the name of the fest I always talk about? Everyday people.
Yeah.
People are coming from out of town. Now in process, we losing our shit, our innate shit. Right. We don't have the High Park Fest or the Silver Room Fest in the same ways.
In a weird way. And I was just, I'm just keeping it a buck. You know what I mean? Like, Chicago, doesn't do a well enough job, I believe, of supporting its local.
I agree 100%.
In fact, all I really see is complaints about how much some shit costs when Black people do shit, but
y'all pay out the ass to go to whatever.
Y'all go to all the other white shit and don't bat an eye to how much that shit costs. I don't give a fuck. They break their neck to do a Google review on the black spot, but they go to white people shit and spend money all day and don't get even half the service and all that kind of thing, and don't even give you all that energy. You feel me? So I just think it's a sense of pride that we need to kind of reinstill in ourselves. You feel me? And just a level of support, understanding that this great event that is being put on is not free. You know what I'm trying to say?
Real shit.
And like when that shit is gone, we'll all sit around and say, we don't got nothing to do no more, right. Blah, blah, blah. But then when it's actually there, it'll be like, oh, well, I want to go see, Nicki Minaj, Cardi B, whoever the artist is, but I don't want to pay this money though. You know what I'm trying to say? Right. So it's really just a difference, and but then on the flip side of that, there's a better way of doing business, on our end too, to kind of like welcome those people in, keeping the ticket prices low on things, inviting new people into the space.
We
because niggas try to make $1 million off a quarter ounce.
That's true. We had Dave Jeff on here recently.
I love the dope talk. I'm sorry.
It's part of it. The dope conversation is similar.
Everybody want way.
It's the binding.
Nobody want bad.
It's relatable. It's relatable. But we had Dave on here. Shout out to Dave again. Recently, he's been on here before a number of times. But we was talking about what's been going on in the aftermath of Hyde Park Summerfest and some of the shit that's been swirling around that. And one of the things we said to him, and we want to talk to Swain about it too, Skinny Swain. One of the things we were saying to him was that the shit kind of swelled into a space where it almost felt foreign to the city. That first one felt so Chicago, felt so connected. All the vendors, the promoters, the security, all that shit felt homegrown. You try to grow so fast, and then outside of it, it went from feeling like a Chicago thing that featured some outsiders to being this outside thing that Chicagoans could come to. And I think you got to be careful with that, man. And I think we all have the aspirations to grow, and I think that's beautiful. I support that. Let's go. But let's be careful and mindful of how we do that so that we don't alienate our base. Because then it's not the same thing anymore at all.
No, it's real. I think there was some growing too fast, meaning like the footprint that they.
Yeah, it's how you grow.
The footprint that they.
You can have a meteoric rise if you want to. I'm cool with that, but how you do it matters.
But I definitely felt like it was. So I could never Monday morning quarterback. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, Hyde Park Summerfest provided something to the city.
Was shit.
That
fire.
It hasn't been duplicated to the
nothing but love. It's just real. At the end of
the day, business is hard.
Yeah.
And especially things like that. So I don't think people even fathom
what it takes
level,
to do something like
work that people put in for something like that. But if it were me, right? Because we can all kind of go back.
Sure.
I would have probably taken a little bit less land space, same area, which I think was genius.
I think that was
just a little less land space, but I would have found a way, which is easier said than done, but found a way to keep ticket prices very low, because I think the benefit to the organization that was running it would be
nobody needs to see Lil' Kim build a body ass fake
no,
on that shit. Nobody needs to see that.
The benefit was to attract thousands of people.
Yeah. See, right? So Jay's like, again, dope boy mentality. You know what I'm saying? Jay is always like one of his real tenets is, low price, high volume.
I'm certain that tenets has never been used more on this show than it has.
But it's real though. Like we have sales philosophies in this company, and one of them is like, all right, like how much do we really need to make? And how much volume can we make by lowering it another $1?
Because here's the thing, it's not about how much you can make off one thing one time.
How many times?
2 for 5. The niggas got garbage down the
way. Call me
flipper.
Yeah, because it's really about how many times you can sell it.
Yeah.
If you sell, I don't care if you make $1. You just got to sell it 1 million times.
How can we flip this joint?
So, it's really, again, but I think they would have been able to attract a lot more.
You know how fucking much it takes to buy into that?
Yeah, it's hilarious.
Like straight up, like to be
because you've been told to
high make as much money as you can off every fucking thing, Instead of realizing, like, you know what, we would sell probably twice at $35.
It's purpose driven though. It's purpose based. It's purpose driven. So, why did you start this?
No, exactly.
And if you can stay true to why you started this, and use that as your North Star, it will guide you when you get to those forks in the road. When you get to that, do I choose this path, that path, where it's more money over here right now versus, well, this is more true to the purpose. To me, always stay with the purpose if the purpose is genuine.
Yeah. No, but on the expansion side, I didn't think they did anything wrong outside of the fact that it was probably a little too expensive to attract the thousands of people that I felt like they needed to attract the bigger brands that will provide the sponsorship dollars that they need to get the bigger audience.
And I want to be clear. Those are brothers. I love them. Only using them as an example. Yeah, this is not a critique. No. Like, well, it is. It is a critique. I mean, but I'm only using them as an example because they were the ones who did something on such a large scale that everybody can see it and understand.
The only ones.
Yeah. So here's the thing. Going back to the original point,
it's mad props to even mention them for this example.
Yeah, but going back to the original point though, them doing the. And I'll even include the Silver Room Block Party in that matter because they actually pivoted as well. Mm-hmm. But them producing things on that level, like, I felt like our city should have supported it way more.
Yeah, the Midway wasn't used for anything else.
No. Yeah. Like, and still not.
Still not. Will not be used.
Yeah. I know Jay Illa and them do like an old school hip-hop thing later in the summer.
Mm-hmm. The best high school is over there every summer. Half Park.
Is it?
Half Park. P say the best high school, Half Park. So you got your Dunbar hat on, man. The Dunbar.
I want to say this about Half Park. My daughter's in summer school at Half Park, and I dropped off today.
It's different.
Them little girls look like they was going to work, and not good work. My daughter, he was like, "Daddy, there's a difference."
Did he just call the little girls ladies of the evening?
I didn't call them nothing. I said, "The ladies going to work." I said, "Baby, be safe."
Ladies of the evening.
They was going to work.
That's wild.
Baby, be safe. Call me if you need me.
You had a cup of coffee at Dunbar. You got on the hat. They had it recently.
I had a cup of coffee. I left my mark.
You had a cup.
Okay, I picture me on the wall.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that, but
picture me on the wall.
You did go to Dunbar. You got on the hat. Y'all had your all class reunion mall. You went to Dunbar too.
I did.
Dunbar produced the greatest nigga this city's ever known. G. We got
I told you my nigga, dog. I told you my nigga.
Can't mirror no other
nigga Lou Rawls, Mr. T.
Yeah, it ain't another high school in the city that mirrors the success Dunbar's had. As far as black people go.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I mean, I know Whitney Young.
What do I know?
Not Whitney Young. If anybody mirrors it, it might only be Phillips.
Or Phillips. Or
it might only be Phillips.
Or CBS.
Y'all can sip all the tea you fucking want.
We gotta
I'm sipping tea too. Phillips and Dunbar have produced the greatest black people this season ever known.
This is a great fucking beer. This is a great fucking beer.
If there's data to support it.
This is I'll tell you, this is a great beer. Y'all done got two drinking the infused one too. He's saying all kind of wild shit.
I was wondering why it tastes so good.
Ain't a
monk fruit, no sugar, monk fruit.
Ain't a first lady been to Dunbar ever.
No, we don't.
But anyway,
those first ladies. We only got one first lady in this motherfucker. Y'all act like we got like several first ladies.
Somebody has to be the first, and it's gonna be a dolphin. It's gonna be a dolphin.
I'm say some two shit, but I'm gonna give you that.
It's gonna be a dolphin. Nah, aside from that piece though, and I appreciate Momager and P only act like that when E get here. Like P only ain't scared of her. And he sit next to her. He be like that, shook his head. She lean over and she be like, tell them niggas I said. And then people like, yo, hurry up. She said, you know how when your mama told you to go tell everybody else? That's him. That's scary ass. Mama said y'all better wash them dishes.
Hey man, don't let him talk about you like that.
He know it's true.
Don't let him talk about you like that, bro. Fuck
he know it's true. He know it's true. We're gonna wrap this thing up. We gotta get to dinner time. But y'all, the Dunbar all class reunion was here, man. I was telling y'all my connections to.
You went to that?
I popped up.
Okay.
Yeah, I popped in.
I figured you would have.
You got the hat and shit. That came from there.
He got a hat.
I saw a lot of people. I got love for Dunbar. I'm joking around with y'all, but I got a lot of love for Dunbar, man. Dunbar I'm cool with a lot of people, man. A lot of people from my grammar school went there, and I knew a lot of other people. Told y'all one of my connections from Robert Taylor's was shout out to my homie Jason Strait, legendary hooper from Dunbar. He stayed in Robert Taylor's, and he also played AAU ball with my brother Ron. So my OG, he live on 47. We live on 67. So my OG, when they come back from all these trips, she will always drop Jason off, and then we go to the crib. Boy, but we get back from these AAU tournaments, they might be at motherfucking Northern or whatever. So it's 2 in the morning. You don't pull up on Federal.
No.
At 2 in the morning, G. You don't want to.
But you know what's so crazy?
But Jay lived there, and he's Jason Strait.
So it's calm.
It's not fucking calm.
No, but you know what's so crazy?
Jason Strait getting this. Jason Strait. One time I remember he getting his gym bag. He getting his gym bag out the truck, right? And you know my mama. All right, baby, love you. Hell yeah. They get the busting off shit for no. I don't know why they busting. Jay grabbed his bag.
Trying it out.
Yeah, they just doing shit.
Trying it out.
They just doing
it. His work.
Oh shit, it's 2 a.m. You know what I'm saying? Alarms. Jay grabbed his bag. He get the dipping. My mama at the time, she got a white Chevy Cavalier that tops out at about 61 miles per hour.
2-cylinder.
I'm like, this is wild shit. But shout out to Jay Strait, shout out to Dunbar, man. How was the thing? I know you actually went to Dunbar. He stopped through.
Yes, sir. Class of 94, you know what I'm saying? Popped in there. Just to say what's up. We had some work to do earlier, but I definitely wanted to pop in. I always show love. I mean, I'm from the low end, so it's my chance to get to see some of my people I grew up with and all that. But just to your point about, y'all going to Robert Taylor's school with Jason Strait and all that, going to AAU. I mean, just on some real shit, me being a project nigga and understanding. I knew a lot of niggas that knew how to hoop, but it wasn't no AAU. You know what I'm saying? When we was doing.
And just that short year time, you 94, Jason was 01.
Yeah, it wasn't no AAU. Yeah. And the fact, and I'm sure it wasn't no AAU in this hood either. He just found the AAU.
They coach lived in.
But y'all really was doing a real solid like that.
A real service. That's what it is.
Because we didn't have none of that shit around our hood. I knew so many niggas that would have probably dominated AAU.
Exactly.
Yeah, facts.
It just wasn't around.
It was just a blessing.
Shout out to my nigga grandson. You know what I'm saying? We call him grandson. That's
Cold.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Salute,
whole
man.
family, actually. You know what I'm saying?
Salute to everybody. It was definitely some shit you fell into. And they coach did not. He was not from the city. He's a white man from out yonder.
That's my point. But, it's like that's some shit that, because I remember back in those days, like you had to like actually come up
to like Stan White
doing shit outside the hood type thing, right? So the fact that he was able to do that helped him, and it took him to Division One.
He went to Wyoming. I said, you went from the low end to Wyoming? You talk about the culture shock.
Oh, man.
Shout out to Jay Strait, man. That's my dude. We play a game here called Dinner Time with every guest that comes on the show. Shout out to Bum J for the name.
That's a great one, too.
But we came from the old Dinner Time. That new Dinner Time bump, we're going to have to talk about that.
Shout out.
Supper even.
That's that oldest YN shit Bump just threw out.
Shout out to Bump, man.
Shout out to Bump for sure. I'm East Side crazy. Bump love Bump. But I still feel how I feel about this latest project.
I fuck with it though. Like I don't know why I fuck with it.
You people who tuck their shirt in.
I fuck with it.
Hey, you fuck with a lot of shit that be weird.
I know.
You be deep in your bag on your story songs, the songs you put under your strap. Like, how should be the most gangster?
Right, I know. That should be killing me.
I'm convinced you don't know that. I'm convinced you don't know this song. He just go into the story, pick the music thing, be like, kill a motherfucker. And see what pops up first.
Exactly.
There we
go. Jim Jones.
Never lie. They call it nigga ears. You know what I'm saying? They call it nigga ears. Like, you know what I mean?
Dinner time, though.
I only hope to be as delusional as Jim Jones one day, but I don't want to give him any more attention. He's a fucking idiot. And I hope Nas doesn't give him 1 second of airtime. Don't ever respond to that, Nas, ever.
No.
But Dinner Time, the game we play where we ask the guests to go back throughout history, any point. This person could be dead or alive, any time of history, that you would want to sit down and have dinner with. Two people. Y'all know that.
Male and female?
Don't matter.
Anybody. And y'all know the tagline for Herb and Two podcast is intellectual thuggery. Some people think the name of the podcast is intellectual thuggery, which is cool too. But intellectual thuggery, right? So you're gonna sit down with two people, have dinner. One of those people must represent that of an intellect, as you define it. The other, that of a thug, also as you define it.
Oh, this
y'all
is
gonna
easy.
sit down and have dinner. Y'all gonna sit down and have dinner for a purpose. You and them two people. Who are those people? And what are y'all doing? What is the purpose of it?
What we're trying to accomplish? And the concept behind it is like, you got to have brains and brawn to get it accomplished.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's more than two people.
No sucker shit.
No, well, if I could just do two, the first two that came to my mind.
One's the intellect, one's the thug. You got to tell us
Malcolm X and Tupac.
All right, who is which? Who's the intellect? Who's the thug?
Tupac's the thug.
Okay.
Malcolm X. Well, I guess they kind of both. Actually.
Yeah, I mean, it's like
that's why I say as you define it.
I want to have
it can be different. Like we've had people be like, well, Larry Hoover and this person, and Larry Hoover's intellect.
Conundrum.
It could be
ballet.
No, but I mean, Pac. I'm just saying. Yeah.
He could be the intellect for how he
give him grace
for how he shifted his demo.
No, he's the intellect because
Pac was definitely a thug.
He could be both.
He definitely did ballet. Pac was
Pac
a
had
thug.
thug life.
This is Jahmal's dinner.
I'm staying out of this.
Like you have to like.
You have your own too. Mal, your dinner. Who's coming? Who's the intellect? Who's the thug? And what are y'all doing?
I don't know, man.
Malcolm X is the intellect.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, he was a thug before.
Mm-hmm.
And Tupac is the thug, but he's also an intellect. But because he coined the phrase "thug life," that's why I'm labeling him the thug.
Mm-hmm.
Not even like limiting the term thug to what we think it is, right? You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
So just expanded it a little bit, talking about the thug, superficial thug thing, but what he interpreted that to mean.
Yeah.
And Malcolm X being a thug in his own right at some point in his life, and that transition.
Perhaps at every point in his life.
Right, and that transition he made, and is how he was able to kind of spar with, the most educated folks in the world.
Sure.
With his background.
Sure.
And he was really smarter than most of them.
All right.
I would like to get their perspective on the current state of things, actually.
Mm-hmm.
And, I'm a big fan of history, so I'm aware of most of the things that they kind of like talked about, worked on.
Yeah.
And in many respects, a lot of the things that they spoke about are still true to this day. Right? We still deal with a lot of the same issues. So I would, love to hear their perspective on how they see the current day, considering some of the things that they spoke about.
Real spill. I like that, Damon. Damon, dinner time. You and two others.
It's
from
too
any point
hard,
throughout
bro.
history.
It's too hard, man.
We need two, brother.
It's too many intellects.
We need two, brother.
And there's too many thugs.
We can't have too many chefs in the kitchen.
It's too many. It's too many that I would actually like to have dinner with.
Well, give us two.
You got to host another dinner.
So
then.
the intellect, I would have to go with.
Right.
I would have to probably go with like. It's hard, bro. Like only one.
Also, they don't have to be black.
Right.
Oh no, I know that, but it's not about that. Like it would be like, I'm gonna have to give you like a either or on each one of them. Can I do that?
Go ahead, man. I want to hear it. Go ahead.
Like it's either Dr. Ben or it's like Marcus Garvey for the intellect.
Okay.
And then on the thug, I would go with like Harriet Tubman.
So he's picking 4 and shit.
Huh?
Yeah, he's picking 4.
Right, no.
I'm picking 4 because I'm thinking like, dude, you gonna make me Harriet Tubman.
They stayed over for breakfast.
Or like fucking, I would really like to talk to Ibrahim Traore.
I like that.
That's who I would like to talk to.
I like that. So just pick him.
You should pick 4 people.
How you gonna say I don't want to talk to fucking Harriet Tubman?
Nobody said you didn't. We just picked one person.
But you gotta pick 2.
Nobody said you can't talk to her. She just ain't invited to this dinner.
I'm greedy.
Right. We're eating a lot.
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna just tell you who I like. That's the decision.
All right, what are we getting done? You and these 17 people.
Yeah, what you gonna talk to them about, bro?
I would talk to
It's fucking
Garvey.
initiation.
Right.
Trying to smash Harriet. It's like I wanted to get it underneath that slip. I wanted to lift that slip.
Wait. J19. No. All these white tears around here.
Like, so, Marcus Garvey.
That might be the wildest thing that's ever been said on the show.
The wildest thing ever said.
And we say a lot of wild shit. That might be.
And I didn't even say it. I support it so much.
Like, I am
I want to holler at Harriet.
Too much J19 was getting passed around.
He's like, I want to get out of there, Harriet.
Harriet Tubman would have shot motherfuckers.
That's hilarious.
And I would like to talk to her about.
No, I'm just talking shit. I ain't mean to take
shooting them.
seriousness out of.
That's
hilarious. Yeah, it's being funny. You know what I'm saying?
I was being silly. Sorry, guys.
Wow.
That's classic.
But Marcus,
nobody's ever said that.
I would like to see what he would think of the current state of the black union. You know what I'm saying? And how he would go about fixing it with the current state of affairs.
How would he evaluate a Dr. Umar of sorts?
Exactly. How would he evaluate? I mean, Dr. Umar, and then there's a bunch of others we could.
Sure.
Right?
I'm just saying.
On both sides of the spectrum.
All right. I can rock with it. Those are 4 good dinner times.
You're right. Nigga. I'm special. Y'all know that.
No, shut up. I think we don't do a good enough job though of ushering in those newer versions of that.
Yeah, I agree.
Right?
Yeah.
Like we talk a lot of shit about Dr. Umar. A lot of people do, and I get it. Because that's the culture we in. But I ain't seen a bunch of niggas try to create a school. You know what I'm saying?
I salute that part of it, man.
Have you seen a school?
I saw Umar.
Not yet, but
just stop doing that. He's showing you a school.
But it ain't easy.
He's showing you a school.
But I know it ain't easy to do that.
I said it's his, but he has shown you one.
Because everybody can sit back like, nigga, where your school at, nigga?
Like, you like, where yours?
Right.
Like, you know
Where your school at, nigga?
Look, Dunbar. Nah, but
he said Dunbar.
But again, right, it's that same conversation, and I think it happens with the best of us. I rock with Umar, right, but he's in the phase too where he's starting to get the attention of the youth. Like I saw him a couple weeks ago, and he was talking about the fact that he's the most notable, I don't even know what you call it, organizer for youth at the ages of such and such and such and such. He made that part of his conversation, right?
Everybody can say whatever the fuck they want.
But check game, though, it was very interesting because my daughter's a humongous fan of Umar. My daughter, who is 16 years old, right? But she's a humongous fan of Umar because they've made him a caricature of himself on TikTok.
Interesting.
Right? So when I knew he was in town, I said, man, you want to meet him? I go get her. She's dying laughing the whole time, and he plays into it. So it's almost like, man,
he leans into it in a sense.
Where's your value now? Right. Are you a comedian
or are you a capitulator?
You know what I'm saying? It's very interesting to see the dynamic take place.
So I definitely agree with what you're saying, but I think that's for lack of a better term, that's how they gonna always make the pimpin' look raggedy. Right? It's like they're gonna always make the pimpin' look raggedy, man. Especially when it's something.
Because otherwise they applaud the pimpin'.
Right? Otherwise they applaud the pimpin'. The same way
you can't
they tried to make amends. God bless the dead, my man who passed away, who was always kind of coming at the chicks for the. They do Kevin Samuels. Yeah. I mean, but at the end of the day, fam was saying a lot of real shit. But I mean, the mistake was being combative. I think with he kind of fell into that because that's what got the views and all that, right? Because he didn't really start off on that. You see what I'm saying? It kind of
started off talking to men.
I always thought he was generally on point for people who play that goofy ass game that them people play when you talk about looks versus value. I thought it was a goofy game, but he was right for the rules he was laying down for that game.
No, but he leaned into the more
instructional,
adversarial exchanges because that's what generated
it's provocative.
Exactly.
People going.
You know what I'm saying? Which I think he got away from
the
purpose to your point.
North Star, Chief. You gotta stick with it.
But I think sometimes when you put the medicine in the candy, the candy overpowers it.
Yeah. It can.
You know what I'm saying?
It can. It will. It can and it will. Because that's one of the things why
if you get addicted to people buying the candy and you take the medicine out.
Here's the thing that's so humbling and grateful, and for at least for me, we've been fortunate enough to have some success in some small successes in this business, right? But in many respects, at the same time of those same successes, it's a lot of fuck shit at the same time. But so I can't really get too high on the same way.
Look at the same story. Don't touch that.
So I think I want to whoop right now.
It humbles me.
A lot of shit
completely
that goes with it.
Look great
all
on
day
Instagram.
long. I can never think, you know what I'm trying to say?
I'm with you 100%.
Yeah, it's like
I don't even want to get into it because it'll get personal for a lot of niggas.
I mean, but people who value the sauce more than the
substance.
Is
all popping, no bang.
You fries, nigga.
All popping, no bang. You know what I'm saying? You
coleslaw.
Exactly. Coleslaw. Who asked for coleslaw?
We gotta fucking. I hate the coleslaw.
Some niggas love the coleslaw.
Why they put the coleslaw in there?
I don't know. I hate that shit.
Yeah.
We gotta slide, man. Shit. We have to slide.
Nobody eats it. Hello, niggas been waiting coleslaw for 50 years.
What the fuck?
Coleslaw get tossed. Why is that in the bag? Fuck it up with sauce on it and shit.
I even appreciate the ones that actually do. You want the coleslaw? I'm like, no, you can keep that shit.
You keep that.
Why y'all make that shit, bro?
Right. Nobody wants that.
Nobody eats the coleslaw.
And it's a cup this big.
Exactly.
And it literally gets thrown away.
It's like 1 ounce.
It's a fuckful of slaw. Like,
yo, that shit been feeding the rest for decades. That shit gets
right,
tossed
give me
in
a
the
solid
garbage.
slaw.
That's what I'm saying. And niggas be coleslaw.
A solid slaw is crazy.
Niggas be coleslaw.
You actually a greedy nigga if you eat the slaw.
Ask for none of that shit.
Like, if you eat the Harrow slaw, you
a wild
nigga,
bro.
You should be on like the pre-arrest list. You should watch this nigga.
Like what you eat it with?
Should watch this nigga.
Like, why do you guys
like
think
the fry sandwich? The fry sandwich, I'm doing.
And by the time you get to the crib, it's like lukewarm because the next shit is hot ass chicken and fries. Like, you eat coleslaw, warm slaw.
Warm.
It's literally a scoop.
Warm slaw.
Warm slaw is crazy.
Warm slaw.
Who thought of that as a combination, y'all?
Now that is a tangent. That's an official like.
Yeah, that's crazy. We went there on the tangent.
I love y'all, brothers, man. Thanks so much for coming through, man.
For sure.
I can't wait to see.
I want to come back, man.
This y'all house.
I want to back and talk about.
We need to do it at Diversity House. That's what
I
I'm
want
saying.
to talk
let's
about
do it.
why. Just why.
People love to play around with all the angles in Diversity House and
man, we ain't talking about the war. We ain't talking about like
we ain't shooting
you know what I'm
shit.
saying? We like it's
I want to talk about that white man at Douglas Park that shot them 2 kids.
Right.
Oh man.
A lot of shit we
gonna
get to. Right now we finna go.
Yes.
Okay.
We go.
Exactly.
Okay. And we will do it again, man. Huge shout out to Moore's Beer.
Thank you, sir.
For everything y'all have done. Appreciate Damon and Jamal for
man,
following
this
through.
shit delicious. Y'all
Yeah,
know
man.
this
Man. No sugar, man. That's
Niggas
monk
gonna be
fruit,
sleeping in a second.
mango,
That's true.
chai
I'm gonna
cheese.
be sleeping in a second anyway.
Yeah. no, but we appreciate
love
y'all.
it, yeah.
Hey, we want to congratulate y'all
The most
for
relaxing
sure.
bike
On
ride
just
you had
being
in a minute.
the authentic podcast that delivers the type of content that mature
That I want to
men
hear.
Yeah.
want to talk about and hear. Not clickbait, not talking about why
Relevant.
Tory
Who dating
Lanez
who, right.
smashed both of the
Right,
chicks and
right.
shot one in the foot or whatever
Even
happened.
though Diddy got off on a bunch of stuff today, I think. Wrap it up, V.
Hey,
Wrap it up.
the owner of Lily Pads Cold Trees says we have to go.
Yes.
You can find Lily Pads Cold Trees all summer long
We should do a
at
post.
Foster Beach. At Foster Beach all summer long. Pull up to Foster Beach, go to the field house, make sure you check out
We should
Lily
do a pop-up
Pads.
at Diversity House.
Do a pop
No,
up.
but y'all should do
At
a post.
Cold Treats.
Cold Treats.
Y'all should
Pop-up.
literally, like the day of the verdict, y'all should like to go live.
It's true.
The verdict.
It's
The
true.
verdict.
Right.
It's
OJ
OJ.
shit.
It's like 2, 3, 4. You already got like
You niggas are impossible. We're leaving. Goodbye. That's Damon. That's Maul. I'm Herb. That's Two. Shout out to P. Shout out to E.
One love,
We're
everybody.
fucking
One
leaving.
love. Morse.
Yeah, no, I love y'all, bro. Y'all good. But that, dude.